Okay. Good morning, guys. My name is Roger, and today I am going to be speaking to Basil, an artist, and it's going to talk to you about his life from being an hip-hop artist to becoming a motivational speaker. So, Basil, over to you.
Hey, I'd like to say hello to everyone. Hello, Roger. It's great to be on this platform speaking to you today. For me, it all started in about 1979. My brother played me a song, and it was called The Breaks by Curtis Blow. And it was the first time that I'd ever heard a song like this before, because usually the songs that I'd heard before, like the soul and the blues and the reggae, it was all instruments that were leading and the vocals would lead the music. But when I first heard rap and hip hop, it was the drums that led the music. And I was so taken by this music, it just took me by storm that I loved it. I just kept on playing it and playing it and playing it. And around 1982, 83, the movement really started to develop in London.
Yeah.
And there were different groups coming up, just performing on the streets. And we would travel down to Covent Gardens in London, which is in the city centre, London city centre. And it was like, you would have a big crowd of like 40 to 50 young people all in a circle. And there'll be guys in the middle breakdancing and body popping. There'll be other guys rapping. Along the outskirts, there'll be guys doing graffiti. And it was like such a family vibe, and it was so positive and so encouraging and so inspiring that I couldn't get enough of this culture. Because in this time, it was like the years that we were going through Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher as the Prime Minister.
I remember that Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister, yes.
Yeah. And then also in 1980, 81, there was like a lot of riots and uprisings, like in Toxteth in Liverpool, in Broadwater Farm in London, in Tottenham, in Brixton, and different areas, because young people felt disenfranchised. Young people didn't feel like they belonged. They didn't feel like they had a voice or a platform to be something special or something great. But within this culture and this movement called hip hop, it gave young people a platform and a way to express themselves. That they could be unique, they could dress different, they could speak different, they could form their own code and their own sense of belonging. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful, Roger, man. It was like living each day it was just so exciting because people were learning new moves and new things. And in 1983, a rap crew called Nutriment, they also used to do graffiti, were the first to bring out a record.
Oh, yes.
In the UK, and it was called London Bridge is Falling. And there was another record that came out around the same time by a guy called Dizzy Heights, who I used to work with. And he brought out a song called Christmas Rapping. And they were the first two recorded tracks that were brought out in the UK in 1983. And we were just like, oh, we loved it, man. As soon as I'd done my chores at home, I'd be on my BMX and I'd ride down to like Ladbroke Grove just to watch the guys doing their graffiti on the walls and stuff, you know? It was just like a really great time to be young and to be alive.
Right. And now at this moment in time, in your journey from being a hip-hop artist to a motivational speaker, where are you at?
Well, what happened was, in 1987, I released my first song. Brought it to show you.
Yeah, by all means.
It's called Hard to the Core. London Rhyme Syndicate, Hard to the Core. Released our first single, and it was great. We began to tour around the country, and the real good thing was we saw people excited and having a good time, because that was one of the elements and the codes in hip hop then. It was peace, unity, love, and having fun. And it was like a wave going across the country. And in 1989, we released a song called It's Time to Get Funky. We featured on a track with D-Mob. Here, this is the track. And it's time to get funky.
Yeah, and I like the chorus.
Yeah, it was really good. And we was on top of the pops, and we charted in America and around the world and stuff like that. And it really brought us a lot of success. And but what happened was after that is like I got a bit disillusioned with the music business, because after we had that success, they wanted us to make more records like that one, but then we had our own journey.
Yes.
But then it felt like it was being denied. So I kind of got a bit disillusioned, and I kind of went into working with different artists and different groups. And I worked with a group called Eternal.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that name, Eternal, yeah.
Yeah, with like Louise Redknapp now, Louise Nurdin, Kelly and Esther and Vernie. And worked with them. I used to help them with the raps in their songs. And that went really well for a while. And then I kind of drifted away from that. And I got into working with young people, because one of my main aspirations and goals in life is to make a difference. I want to make a difference. And while we was rapping, we would make a difference in people's lives. They'd have a good time. It would inspire them. And we always wanted people to leave in a positive way. So if they came in feeling down, feeling like they'd had a hard week, we wanted them to leave in a positive way. And when I worked with young people, I wanted the same thing. But I found it a lot harder. I found it a lot harder to impact young people within the education system, or within the children's homes, or within referral units. I found it a lot harder because you was bound by the institution that you was working for, how you could work with them. So I kind of really got a bit frustrated with it, because I wasn't making the impact that I wanted to make. And what I realized was I moved away from the very thing that I loved. I moved away from my music inside, and I began to just live day to day. You know, that cycle of eat, sleep, work, repeat. Yes. And I just kind of drifted away from my sense of purpose and my sense of who I really was. And I began to lose myself, and I began to get more frustrated, more disappointed, more frustrated, more disappointed. And really, I wasn't making a difference in the young people's lives, but my life wasn't really making a difference in any way. So I was getting more and more like lost in who I was.
So you were
at that time.
Yeah, so you were getting frustrated, but
yeah, definitely, yeah. And then I did a coaching course. I did a first coaching course I did was a destiny coaching course quite a long time ago. And it's like, I realized that I could coach. I could really impact people, because I was always someone who wanted to be positive and inspiring. I always wanted to inspire people. And I began to really focus in on reading and learning. So I thought to myself, I need to learn. So I started consuming book after book, self-help, personal history, self-development, world history. I was just becoming like a real nerd for learning. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to learn. I wanted more. I couldn't get enough. I wanted more. Give me a book, give me book, give me books, give me books. I just wanted to learn. And when I'm reading, I always use the watermelon principle. That with some books, the watermelon principles, where you eat the watermelon and sometimes you have to spit out the pips.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because sometimes books are sometimes people's opinions.
Yeah.
So I take what's positive and I spit out what's negative. I take what's positive and I spit out what's negative.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, personally, I also read quite a lot. I think I probably have to go down to the route of learning speed reading at some point. I think that will be quite useful. Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do speed reading yourself?
No. I like to get lost in a book. It's something I did from when I was a child. I used to kind of use reading as an escapism. So I'd love to read fantasy and adventure books, because I'd get lost in that world.
Yes.
And I suppose that's something that got my creative juices flowing, because I love imagination. I love dreaming. I love a vision and something that's otherworldly. So I used to use it to get lost in. So I can get lost in a book and just drift for hours at a time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do get that sometimes myself. I do really love learning, and and then finding out about things and how we can transform our lives.
That's right. That's right.
But I think we transform our life as well by transforming other people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. And what I realized was I first had to transform my own mind, because if I transformed my mind, I could transform the things that I do. And then if I could transform the things that I do, then I could impact other people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I realized I didn't have a vision. I'd lost my vision, because when I started off to be a rapper, I had a vision. I wanted to be a UK hip hop artist, a pioneer of UK hip hop. So I had a vision, I had a goals. There was purpose to what I was doing. So I was doing things on purpose. I was learning from successful artists. Do you know what I mean? It was like each day had meaning and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what you just said is important. You mentioned the word purpose. You had a purpose in your life.
Yeah.
You had a purpose to become that artist, and then because you were focused on that, then it worked, and then after that you floated a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of lost my vision, because I lost my vision and lost purpose, and then just got lost. And I think that the quote is, if you don't chase your own dream, someone else will hire you to fulfill their dream. And then that's what I began doing. I was fulfilling someone else's dream. I wasn't fulfilling my dream. So my frustration wasn't because of someone else. It was because of me. So I had to take responsibility.
But I like that, because what you just said is very important. I had to take responsibility. But in this world, in today's world, most people will blame somebody else. But I think,
yeah, you're right.
Most people do it. I would say probably 90% of people do it. And governments, without naming any, because we're not here for that, but governments blame each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Very rarely do they take responsibility and be humble enough to say, we made a mistake, we want to rectify it. No, they would never say that. And
that's right. Yeah, you're right. Because the thing is, it's very easy to blame.
Oh.
Because it's almost like I'm shifting the responsibility. It's your fault why I'm behaving like this. Because I remember growing up, I used to always sense, sometimes from teachers and sometimes from different people, you're going to be what you are because of your surroundings and because of your circumstances.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've heard that a lot. Yeah.
And I used to believe it. So sometimes you'd see young people in certain areas, and you say to them, why are you doing what you're doing? Well, the teacher says I wasn't going to be nothing but a drug dealer. I wasn't going to be nothing but this and that. And it turns into like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you take responsibility, what you then do, you're saying my behavior is a function of my decisions, not my conditions. So regardless of what my environment says, regardless of what people say, I'm going to make the decisions for my life and the direction of my life, which I think is so important.
Oh yeah, very much so, because I mean, these days, yeah, it's like we used to have to describe what I want to say, I used to have a joke with my dad, and he says, oh, it's a well-known fact, it's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
It's always somebody else's fault, yeah. And then, but you're right, we need to take responsibility, and sometimes it's hard, but life is not meant to be easy anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we have challenges in our life, and it comes to you in any shape or forms. Those challenges could be the loss of somebody you love. It could be the loss of a job. It could be anything, and then we have to decide for ourselves. Otherwise, we just float around.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We just drift in that mental fog.
Yeah, so you become a motivational speaker, and but you're combining that with coaching as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit? Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about how you combine the two?
Yeah, because because what I do, I work with emerging artists and creative professionals. What I say is that I help them manage their lives outside the classroom so that they can thrive inside the classroom. And the way that I do that, I can do that on a one-to-one basis, but I especially love to do it as a speaker. So to inspire them to develop the things that make us stronger, resilience, have a vision, setting goals, having values, and work with them like in a coaching setting, but as a speaker. So do it as a group. So
So when you say a speaker, do you actually speak to an audience of young people, or the parents with them, or just them, or?
Well, at the moment, it's university students. So it's like I've worked with a group in the Lymph Academy. So I'll work with them as a whole. So their master classes will have like 6 students. So I'll work with them as a group. And then really, you just challenge them, and you challenge them to begin to develop these things in their life so that they can be more resilient in their professional lives. I love it because I realized when I was a young artist, I only used to focus on professional skills. I never focused on my self-development skills.
I mean, that's
and, you know that,
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right. Yeah, because I want to make a point on this one. You focus on your professional skills and not on your self-development skills. And I think that's in education everywhere, in most universities and most schools. You learn the professional skills. When I was at school in France, the education system is not bad, but when looking back with what you just said, we don't really do anything about your own self-development. You don't. No, we don't. When you think about, we only study about with the subject, whatever that may be, becoming a nurse, becoming a care worker, becoming a doctor, becoming I can't think of anything else.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And then it's so true. Whichever country you go to get your education, they focus for you to concentrate on your professional skills and being a mechanic too as well. But then, but you also need to have self-development, because let's say you end up in working and becoming a mechanic and do NVQ in this country in mechanical engineering or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Okay, and getting the skill is fine, but what about how to get on with other people? What about?
That's right.
What about how to deal with bullies at work? What about getting bullies in your training environment? How do you deal with an aggressive teacher or tutor? Who's got no respect?
Even just that's right.
Go on as quickly as he wants or she wants. And then how do you do that if you haven't got the skill to do that?
That's right. Even basic skills like listening and communicating, just basic different skills, because I find it's like talent can get you there, but it's your self-development that's going to keep you in that position.
Oh, I love that. I love what you just said. I think that's so true. Talent will get you there, but self-development will keep you there.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true. I will add something else on talent. I think a lot of us have inner talents we don't even know about. Because
definitely.
Yeah, because often when I've been talking to different people from different walk of lives, they often say they have talent. Then you see them on TV as a singer, as whatever, a sportsman, sportwoman. And then it's all more or less saying they have talent, but we haven't got it. And I've got that many times. They have the talent. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like saying, but we haven't got it. We're
always looking at someone else's talents and gifts and not recognizing our own.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not recognizing our own gift. And I totally agree with that. And I think that can be so damaging because...
Oh, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, these people, they discover, as you described so well, their music inside. They've discovered that. and then they're working on it, right? And then I can name a few champions, like Mo Farah is probably one of my favorites,
Yeah.
and or Andy Murray, or it doesn't matter which one, but they often have the vision, they see themselves crossing that line, don't they?
That's right. Yeah.
Of success, whether you are a sports person, a musician, a life coach. Yeah, they see themselves in that, doing that.
And that's right. And that's so important that they can see it. Because the thing is, it's like when you're young, that's why if you notice with young children, they dream big. And what they say is big dreams, you need big dreams to move the mind.
Oh, yeah,
and young kids dream big. Their dreams have no limitations.
Well,
but then,
yeah.
And then they get their slate marked.
Yeah.
As John would say, John Haynes, he would say that they get their slates marked, because what happens is they start getting limiting beliefs thrown at them. Oh, you can't do that. Why don't you think about a normal career? No, you can't do that. there's no money in it. And people begin to throw negative beliefs at them.
Yeah, there is no money in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that's a good point. If I may take an example of table tennis, which is a minority sport in this country, even though it's been in here, but the speed at which the top players play is unbelievable. And,
it's amazing.
And because there is no money in it, and if the top players were listening to that, then they wouldn't be top players.
That's right.
They'll have done something else where the money is more obvious. Now the prize money is going up. They changed the strategy, but that's of it. So which is good because they need to survive like everybody else. So it's getting better for the players. But if the players in the first place, they know they are good at that sport, but just because it's minority sport, what stopped them to achieve? Why should we stop them to achieve their dreams?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes you have to overcome those self-limiting beliefs of what other people have said and done, and follow that dream that's inside you, because we have all been gifted with great and unique talents. And the reality is, it's not one size fits all. We're all different, and we're all unique, and we're all special, and we've all got something to contribute. But we have to believe in ourselves. And the sad thing is, limiting beliefs have stripped so many of us of our belief, so that when we think about that dream, we just think there's no way that I can do it. I can't cross that massive gap from dream to reality. So we just go with the status quo and just do what we think we should do, and end up crushing our spirits.
That's right. And do things what we should be doing, like fitting. We need to fit in the mold, and then yes, and it's a shame really, because then that's where there is a lot of creativity that's being lost.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because we all have something. For example, like if I say I can sing, personally I can sing, but does that mean I haven't got anything to give? No, it doesn't.
Exactly. Come on.
But some people might think that, but you can sing anyway. Oh, he or she's a great artist. And then I go, oh, I can sing. And then unconsciously it goes in your mind, but you're actually telling yourself more than that. Oh, I can't sing, so therefore I can't offer what he or she offers. That kind of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we tend to believe in other people's creativity, but not ours.
Yeah, that's right. And the scary thing is if you look at the school system, everybody's measured the same. It's the same system of measurement that we measure each other by. And what that determination of that measurement might be, well, this person's smart, this person's not as smart. This person's really brilliant, this person's not as brilliant. And we measure them by the same measurement, but then we don't take into consideration that this other person, their intelligences might lie in a different area to the system of measurement that we're using. So that person often might feel, well, I haven't got nothing to offer, when they've got so much to offer. It just hasn't been awakened. They just haven't been encouraged and told that that thing that they do is really special.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have different skills. And so I like finding the music inside. Have you got a specific project on that?
Yes. It's so funny you ask. I decided that I'm going to write a book.
Right.
And about my journey of finding the music inside, but also as a coaching message so that people can use it as a stencil. Because you know what, you can create a stencil and then people can use it however way they want to use it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I want with the book that I'm going to write, that it can be a stencil that people can read it and they can see how I find my music inside, but then they can use it to inspire them to find their music inside and then to play their music and play it loud as they can.
And I really can. Fantastic. So to finish this this very inspiring discussion and chat we just had, what will be a few tips you will give to people or to the viewers who are viewers and people who are listening to us? What advice or will you give them to the people out there?
I think my main advice I would give would be believe in yourself. Because what you believe with feelings and emotions, that's what's going to come back to you. It's like the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Whatever you give out is going to come back to you.
Oh, that's
so,
yeah. Just before,
sorry.
Yeah, no, but just quick to say, just before coming on this, I came across a couple of videos on YouTube about exactly what you just said, and about that writer Louise A. You can heal your life. Can you say that again, because I think it's so important.
Yeah, because like the law of attraction, if we believe for success and believe for positive things, then that's what we're going to attract. So whatever we give out, that's what we're going to pull back into our lives. Because belief in ourselves and belief that we can do great things, positive affirmations, then I believe then we're setting ourselves on the pathway to success. We're taking ourselves off that road of indecision, off that road of not really having direction, and then we're placing ourselves on a road of purpose and a road of success, because it all starts with us believing in ourselves, believing that we can achieve great things and be the special people that we were made to be. And then when you begin to believe it and you send that out, you're going to attract the like back into your life.
Absolutely. And also trust yourself. Okay.
That's right. Come on.
So I would say three things. Okay. So believe in yourself, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Trust yourself and love what you're doing.
Come on. That's right. With passion.
With passion. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, definitely.
So, okay. So if you like this video and like the type of content of this video, please don't forget to subscribe and press on the bell, so you know what's that button there if you like this kind of content. And the next video with Basil is going to be about his book, so keep an eye. Thank you.